and I am one of the supervising sound editors on F1.
Hi, I'm Al Nelson, and I am the other supervising sound editor on the movie F1. This is a film about Formula One racing, and there are 10 teams, 20 cars, 4 different engines, and all these cars sound slightly different, but there's a very specific feel about them and sound for them. But those cars that they are actually driving on the set are F2 cars. Those are V8 engines versus the V6 hybrid F1 cars that Mercedes and Ferrari and Red Bull all drive.
I ran into Andre Lind, who was Al's effects assistant, and I said, how's it going? Because I could hear the cars down the hallway and stuff. She said, well, we have a problem that all the cars need to be ADR'd. And I was like, whoa, this is going to be very interesting.
And so we had to replace all that V8 material because those cars don't sound the same. I needed 10 seconds of a single F1 car going through all the turns accurately, turn 5 at the right gear, then turn 6 at the right gear, turn 7, and all at the right speed, and it needed to sound seamless. For as much as this isn't stitched together visually, the sonic stitchery that myself and Luke Dunn and Benny and Andre and all of us worked on is insane. The moment when I first stepped onto a Grand Prix circuit, it's like, wow, this is my job this weekend. A single car on a track is next to impossible to actually capture. We got to go out to what's called tire testing days, where it's just the drivers. Normally at a Grand Prix, there's helicopters and crowds and radio and all kinds of stuff. So there were moments where we could get single cars doing what we needed to do. Lewis said, come on down, you can put a rig on my car. Of course, we went to Mercedes and Toto Wolff, and they're like, you're not putting anything on our car. We're trying to win races here. It was always a quest to try and get gear on the car.
All these people, this is what they do for their job. Lee Diffie is the announcer for Daytona. Martin Brundle and David Croft are the actual announcers for F1. We had to cheat a little bit to make it sound like they were actually broadcasting at the races.
5 lights ahead of the drivers. It's lights out and away we go. Here comes Sonny Hayes, ladies and gentlemen, using those warm tyres to carve his way through the back of the field.
And if you ever need confidence in your car, it's here at Silverstone.
It was actually fascinating watching them do their stuff. There's certain plot points that we knew they had to hit in a various race sequence. And we would say, we're in Hungary and we need to hit this driver coming in here and this person's passing this point. And we would let them watch the footage and they would just go and they would ad-lib the whole thing. It's really nice to start a race car movie with the sound of waves. You're not going to get blasted with engines right away, so it kind of eases you into it. And then you're also kind of like, what am I watching? I came to see a race car movie. What's going on here?
What are we doing? We are meeting Sonny Hayes. Who is he? What does he do? Well, he sleeps in a van with headphones on and then gets up at midnight and drives fast in the middle of a Daytona GT race. Joe wanted that opening sequence to definitely be a tentpole piece that kind of really felt gritty and dirty and full of energy and really set up the fact that Sonny Hayes is scrapping.
And he attacks. Here comes Hayes on the outside.
Come on, Sonny.
The whole Vegas race he's pissed, he's angry, so there's an edge. Even from the very beginning, he throws his cars, because they got screwed over.
He's in the shitbox.
Exactly. He doesn't like being in the shitbox, and he doesn't have his lucky cars. Everything is just wrong. Nothing is sitting right. All the sound has to be unhinged to go with that.
The intention was to put us in Sonny's head. Hans's music is doing such a great job of telling us that he's angry and just building tension and building and building.
Sonny?
So our goal with the sound effects was to just feel the car.
The effects become more stylistic. You hear a little bit of his breathing. You don't necessarily hear clearly what Crofty and Brundle are saying. They have more of an effect as opposed to an informational purpose at this point in time.
No, he's put the car in qualifying mode. He's going to run the battery down. Tell him to put it back.
Sonny, you're now in qualify mode. What's going on? Sonny, what's happening?
So because everything is not hyper-realistic, it allows you to go more subjective and be with Sonny in his head.
Blasting along the Las Vegas Boulevard, 210 miles an hour. Hard on the brakes now and into the chicane. Sergio Perez ahead of Sonny Hayes, but that's a mega exit from Hayes. He's got a gain on Sergio Perez, and he's closing meter by meter, inch by inch. Is this the place to take a gamble? Hayes attacks round the outside.
Abu Dhabi is a culmination of everything we've done thus far. It's got that kind of very intense, on-board, visceral feel. The music is much more thematic. It really has that kind of hero vibe and the build to that hero vibe of Team Apex and those Hans Zimmer themes that just ring so strong. And then we really dug into the crowds. They're doing all of these strategies that the other teams aren't necessarily doing. You build to this unexpected moment where they have the red flag, but up until that point, they have been driving better than anyone expected Apex to drive, and they actually had a shot. Joe and Jerry make movies for the big screen, for groups of people to come together and experience
popcorn.
this.
Yes.
Yeah, and this one from the beginning was definitely intended to be a movie for the big screen.
One thing about Joe that I just love is that even for the temp mixes, when you're playing them for audiences, a lot of people just do a 5-1, but no. He wanted an Atmos for himself and also the audience. He wanted to feel how it's going to translate into these real world situations. Car movie, everything is on the ground. You've got that space filled with cars. Put the music up here, you put Led Zeppelin over your head. It wraps you in the chaos and energy that you want to feel.
We are making this film for somebody to feel like, oh man, I haven't experienced a movie like this in a long time. Fully immersive, big IMAX or Apple Vision screen, full Atmos, because it's made to be an experience.